24/7, I'm Aaron Dean. Loved ones and many around the world are now mourning the deaths of the 5 passengers on the Titan submersible that suffered, quote, a catastrophic implosion. The Advocate Channel's Chris Wynn has the latest on the investigation now underway from Boston.
The site of the world's most famous shipwreck is now the site of a new tragedy. A Titanic-bound submersible has been found in pieces, and the U.S. Navy reports detecting an acoustic signature consistent with a catastrophic implosion on the day the sub descended to the site this past Sunday.
The location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet from the wreck of the Titanic.
The 5 people on board have been pronounced dead. Their loved ones and many people around the world are now in mourning.
I just feel terrible for the families that had to go through all these false hopes that kept getting dangled, as it played out.
As to what caused the catastrophic implosion, that's under investigation.
If the Coast Guard is remaining there as part of the collection or recovery, that's somewhat unusual.
The CEO of the submaker, OceanGate, is among the dead. OceanGate's safety practices are now in question, but the company's co-founder is cautioning people not to rush to judgment.
There are teams on site that are still going to be collecting data for the next few days, weeks, maybe months, and it's going to be a long time before we know exactly what happened down there.
Around 350 Pakistani nationals were on board the migrant boat that capsized off the coast of Greece earlier this month. That's according to Pakistan's Interior Minister. The Pakistan government is working with families of the victims to identify the bodies using DNA samples. Nearly 300 families worry that their children may be among the victims. The Interior Minister also said that while the boat's capacity was around 400 people, 700 people were allegedly aboard. He highlighted this in his remarks that only 12 Pakistani citizens were among the survivors. Well, President Biden is banking on reproductive rights to galvanize voters in 2024. Last year, the Supreme Court overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade that legalized abortion on the federal level. Ahead of the anniversary of the Supreme Court's historic Dobbs decision, Biden is picking up support from key groups. In addition, the president is planning an executive order to strengthen access to contraception. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries and the pro-choice caucus are pushing for Congress to pass the Women's Health Protection Act.
Democrats, we believe in a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions. As Democrats, we will continue to stand on the side of women. We will continue to stand on the side of reproductive freedom. We will continue to stand on the side of access to health care, because abortion care is health care.
We heard about the 10-year-old rape victim who was told that she would have to carry her baby to term. We've heard heartbreaking accounts of women who were forced to carry their dead fetus around in their womb for weeks because the doctors were afraid of criminal prosecution. We've heard from women who have been turned away from hospitals and told to wait in the parking lot literally until they were on the brink of death. I'm not making this up. This is what is happening in the United States of America today.
Since last year's decision, 22 states have passed either a ban or highly restrictive policies on abortion. Other states have expanded access to abortion care. Workers at more than 150 Starbucks stores across the country could soon go on strike over Pride decor in stores. The union called Starbucks Workers United said in a tweet that 3,500 workers will be on strike over the next week. It's not clear which locations would be affected. Starbucks has denied the workers' claim, but the union says that managers told workers that Pride displays were a safety concern, citing recent incidents at Target. The union says managers have removed displays in some stores, but did not offer locations. Starbucks says that its support for the LGBTQ+ community is unwavering and that there had been no policy change. This year, brands like Disney, Target, and Bud Light suffered a backlash and negative social media campaigns for their support of Pride Month. Well, summer's heating up, and health experts say beware. Some medications are causing heat intolerance and can lead to potentially serious complications. The Advocate Channel's Mandy Gaither has more on how you can know if your medications may have a sensitivity to the sun.
The heat and some medications, they don't always mix.
If someone's not careful and they're on some of these higher risk medications and happen to be in a heat wave with, prolonged exposure to higher temperatures, they can end up getting sicker.
Dr. Mark Conroy with Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says people on certain medications are more likely to end up in the emergency room for heat-related illnesses compared to those who are not on medicine. Drugs that may put you at higher risk of having problems in the heat include medications for blood pressure and mental health, antihistamines, and decongestants.
If there's reports of a heat wave coming up, I would reach out to your local pharmacist or your primary care doctor and just talk to them about the medications you're on.
Not everyone who takes higher risk medications will have a reaction, but Conroy says red flags to watch out for include signs of dehydration like dizziness, not urinating as frequently despite drinking water, and lightheadedness.
You have to be prepared, having an emergency plan, keeping an extra bottle of water nearby, reevaluating the activities you have planned.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Artificial intelligence could change the workforce, especially for women. A recent analysis from the University of North Carolina's Business School found that 79% of working women are in occupations that are susceptible to disruptions and automation. That's compared to 58% of working men. Economists say that those numbers are, quote, staggering. One possible reason for the big difference: more men working in manual services like carpentry and electrical work that would be difficult to automate. Two-time Green Party President nominee Jill Stein says that she has agreed to work for Cornel West's presidential campaign. West is a former Harvard professor and longtime civil rights activist who recently broke from the People's Party to join the Green Party. Stein says that she's helping West develop a team and put together the infrastructure needed to run a national campaign. But it will be West in the limelight and not her. Stein ran for president in the 2012 and 2016 elections. Well, the next time that you drive around Philadelphia, you might want to thank any road workers that you see. Their around-the-clock effort is why I-95 northbound is reopening with temporary lanes after a partial collapse this month. Here's a look at how the work is so far ahead schedule.
Traffic will be flowing here on I-95 this weekend.
It's a project many initially thought could take months. Instead, it took less than 2 weeks. Today, 6 temporary lanes of northbound I-95 in Philadelphia are opening after a partial overpass collapsed June 11th. It's a crucial route connecting to New York, Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey. Here's a look back at what it took to reopen it so quickly.
The entire region affected by this will have the full support of the United States Department of Transportation.
The Department of Transportation provided $3 million in emergency relief funds, calling it a down payment. President Joe Biden toured the site by helicopter.
I've instructed my team to move heaven and earth to get it done.
Neighboring states pitched in to help detour traffic. And even workers from a NASCAR raceway got involved yesterday. They drove over this truck-mounted jet dryer so the project could continue if it rained.
There's something special happening in our community, people coming together.
Probably the most important were the laborers. They worked around the clock to repair the overpass, making life a little easier for area drivers.
This community is coming together and lifting up those workers and making sure that they know we are supporting them.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And thanks for joining us for AC 24/7. For more, go to theadvocatechannel.com and subscribe on the Advocate Channel YouTube page. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Aaron Dean.